Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas, and in this video we're going to talk all about why you should not rely solely upon platforms like YouTube or Facebook or Instagram for building your platform. Okay, so I took a little bit of a break during the summer, and not to worry, I'm actually going to be getting right back to doing weekly videos for you, so be sure that you stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, so you make sure that you never miss one of these episodes. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit of strategy. I like to do that from time to time, just to give you guys some ideas and thoughts as you are building your own brands and your own businesses and your own platforms on the web. Okay, so recently in the news, there has been talks about the possibility of the popular platform TikTok actually getting shut down at this point in time. Who knows what's actually going to take place with that. However, I thought it did actually spark some interesting thoughts and ideas that I wanted to share with you, whether or not you use TikTok. It's not something that I use. It's not a platform that I'm particularly fond of, both the way it works or the content. Anything that really has portrait style video isn't something that I really like. I like landscape, beautiful style photography and videography, so that's something that draws me a little bit more. That's not something you're going to get with like Instagram stories or Facebook stories or something like TikTok. Okay, but regardless of what my or your opinion is on the platform TikTok, it is a fact that there are plenty of what you would call creators or influencers who are earning a decent living being on that platform. And so with the very thought or the idea of the platform being shut down, that led to a number of people saying that you are potentially going to actually deprive me of my livelihood. I won't be able to survive without this platform and the daily or weekly or monthly or annual revenue that it produces. Now, this isn't a particularly new idea. This happened actually years ago and still happens from time to time now. With YouTube itself, there's been creators who have gotten copy strikes or demonetization with their channel to the point where they've seen a reduction or even an elimination completely of the income that they're receiving from that platform. So you might be thinking, well, that seems a little bit strange to be saying, since you are indeed publishing this on YouTube and as of today are actually running ads on YouTube, which is true. However, I'm not opposed to the very concept of using these platforms. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. I would find the platforms that work best for you. That's where you're going to be able to find and build your audience. Where I make the distinction, however, is that I don't think that you should rely solely upon these platforms as a home for your audience or for your platform. So what do I mean by that? If somebody decides to come along tomorrow and to shut down your YouTube channel, all of those followers that you have will be gone. They'll be suspended. They will be with YouTube. They will not be with you. Now, what you can do instead is to set up places that you send people where you can add them to a list where they can become subscribers that you actually control, that you actually have ownership of. Rather than someone like YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or somebody else controlling and maintaining your list of followers or subscribers. So this leads a number of people to then start a website, which is a great idea as long as you're actually going to be using the right platform. So there are a lot of websites out there that you can build with a number of different third-party builders or things inherent with those particular platforms. A lot of popular options are things like Squarespace or Wix, and a lot of people like them because they're super easy to use. You can drag and drop, you can pick from templates. However, you're running into the exact same problem that you have with something like YouTube or Facebook, which is that you don't own it, you don't control it. It's hosted on their servers, and at the end of the day, they do have a say in what is actually being published on their service. So theoretically, if they decided one day that they didn't like what you're publishing for whatever reason, or even if there was just a misunderstanding, you could, again, just like you would with Facebook, just like you would with TikTok or Instagram, you could potentially again lose access to that hard-earned list of subscribers that you have produced. Okay, so there are a ton of things not to do, but what should we do, right? So there are two main things that I'm going to recommend that you produce and that you control and that you back up and that you utilize as a means for maintaining your audience. Number one is in fact a website. However, it should be a self-hosted WordPress website. So if you're not too familiar with WordPress or with servers in general, that's totally okay. Essentially what it means is that you're going to be using not WordPress.com, which like Wix or Squarespace is something that's hosted through them. Instead, you're going to use WordPress.org, or the open source version of WordPress that you're allowed to install on any server. Then you're going to go and you're going to find a host. There are tons of really affordable options out there. The two I recommend, which I'll leave links below, are Cloudways, which is probably the most affordable, a little bit more complicated to get up and running. It's more kind of developer friendly. And then another one would be WP Engine, which is a little bit more expensive, but also a little bit easier to use. And I think they have some of the best customer support I've ever worked with. Now, the reason most people don't decide to do a WordPress.org or self-hosted WordPress website is understandable. It does take some extra steps, some things that you have to go through in order to get those up and running. However, if and when you do get a self-hosted website up and running, it's something that you control. So if your host isn't acting the way that you like, or they shut down your website for some unknown reason, you can always have a backup, and you can always take that site to another host who is willing to host your website. And if you want to get really fancy, you could technically even set up your own server, work with a professional to help you set up your own server to host your website if you're having trouble with someone else. So freedom and flexibility, but at the end of the day, it's something that you own and something that you control. Nobody can shut it down. Now, the companion, the second piece to actually building an audience, and this one's going to be equally, if not more important than the website itself, is an email list. I've talked a lot about this in the past, but it is always worth rehashing and bringing up again, because unlike Twitter followers, unlike TikTok followers, unlike YouTube subscribers, it's a list that you can export. You can't go to YouTube or TikTok and click file export of all of your subscribers that you can then, place away with permission to reach out to those people. With an email list, you own and control that list of subscribers, and you can contact them however and whenever you want to, of course, as long as you have permission to do so. So the number one tool I always recommend is Convertkit. Convertkit is super easy to use, and it's really powerful. The tagging and automation tools built into Convertkit make it by far the best tool. So what I typically do, or what I typically recommend and do, is I set up a WordPress-based website that then connects to a Convertkit account and a number of different landing pages and forums that you use to get people to sign up for that email list. So one of the things that people typically ask, they say, okay, so I've gone through, I've set up a really basic WordPress website. I've also set up my Convertkit account. What do I do next? So what you want to do is you want to start creating pages that are specific to an offer. So the next time you create your YouTube video, you want to say, hey, go to mywebsite.com/guide, where you'll be able to download my free guide that'll teach you X, Y, and Z. That's going to help start the process. Now, this isn't overnight. Again, there's no export your subscribers to Convertkit from a third party. However, you can start slowly, gradually moving your subscriber base from those platforms, or leveraging those platforms to get those people onto that email list, and giving something away for free, like a course, an ebook, a checklist. A guide is a great way to do that. Some other things that you can do as well, again, if you've got a podcast, or if you have a Medium account, or if you've got a good following on Facebook, you don't always want to be throwing promotions in people's faces, but the more consistent you can be with creating content that you can get people to sign up for, the better. Another thing that you can do, if you don't want to actually create something new for people to download, what you can do is say, hey, if I'm on all these different platforms, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram. If you just want to get an update of what I'm up to on a weekly or monthly basis, head on over to mywebsite.com/subscribe, join my email newsletter, and you won't miss a thing. Even doing something that simple to begin with is going to be a huge help in the end should something go wrong with one of those other platforms. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is really just an insurance policy to help ensure the longevity of the platform and the audience that you're building. You can hedge against any of these social media platforms which rise and fall. Sometimes it seems yearly. It seems like, we've had things like Friendster or even MySpace that nobody really uses anymore. So you've got things like Vine, which were super popular for a short period of time. So you as a business owner and as a brand owner, the more that you can start to build your audience on a platform that you control, the better off you're going to be in the long run. Okay, which leads me to my last and final thing I wanted to share with you today, which is that I am currently in the process of creating a brand new WordPress theme. So some of you may know I am actually the founder and the designer and developer of Notable Themes. So I create a wide variety of WordPress themes and plugins, and I'm working on a new one. This new theme I'm really excited about because I have not seen anything else like it out there. It's gonna actually be quite different in terms of what most other WordPress themes are like out there today. A lot of them are very block-based, page builder, static website type WordPress themes, whereas this one is going to be solely focused on the content. You'll be able to post your pictures, your quotes, embed videos, live stream, host your podcast. Anyone who is a content creator is going to be really excited about this one. So in my next video, I'm going to share with you some of the mock-ups. Again, this is in the design early development phase, so I want to show you behind the scenes of what I've been creating. Also, I'm going to be doing some live workshops with my friend John Meese. If you'd like to catch this live, we're going to be talking about the theme. You'll be able to ask questions as well as provide feedback so you can kind of help craft and mold what this is going to look like and how it's going to work. So head on over to notablethemes.com/live if you'd like to sign up to get notified when we go live. Otherwise, if you found this video useful, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Hey, so I get asked all the time how I make my videos, so I decided to put together for you a free 1-hour training, which I'm calling the 7 Pillars of Effective Video. Again, this is totally free, so click the box in the top right-hand corner of this video. You can also head on over to rightly.tv/training. Again, this is totally free. Head on over to rightly.tv/training.